What's up, guys? We're at the famous Danny Rock. Here it is. There's like a poem written on it from I think that says 1852. It's crazy how things like that will keep your legacy or keep people thinking about you. This is it here. I'll record the pod when I get somewhere away from the houses around the corner. Pretty nice though. Hey guys, so I figured I'd do something a little different for this podcast episode. I'm just gonna slow roll this river because I'm waiting for my friends to get here. But they're notoriously late all the time, so I might as well, do a little paddling. But yeah, it's beautiful here. The birds are singing. Kind of needed this. I mean, today, I kind of just felt blah, but no one cares. I know that, so I don't want to just come on here and just sound like I'm complaining. But what I really wanted to kind of talk about is what makes a not a valuable man, but you know what I mean, like a high value male. And there's a lot of people that will say, when the guy has a lot of money or whatever, but I mean, what really is it that makes a high value man? I think the only judge of that could be women, just because another guy has a ton of money, that doesn't really make him high value to me. I really don't care. I mean, if he treats me well and he's a nice person, I mean, that to me makes a high value man. I'm just kind of curious, with my female viewers, what you guys think makes a high value man for you. And I was thinking about this on my run, and the good thing about runs is they really allow you to think about to let thoughts flow, at least for me, because if I'm focused on the run itself and step by step, I get tired, I get fatigued, I start to doubt myself. But if I can move my mind to a place where it's not on the running is just second nature, what my body is doing, well, my mind is actually taking a jog as well of its own. It really does make a big difference for myself. And where my mind went today was, they always, at least in society, I don't know who they is, but society, frowns upon the guy that lives at his parents' house until he's 30, 35. And I mean, what if that guy has a great relationship with his family? I mean, that to me shows value in itself. If you're able to maintain family bonds and family connections, why is that such a bad thing? I guess because, significant others don't want to live in in-laws, which I get that too. I mean, I personally, there hasn't been a ton of in-laws, well, not in-laws, I've never been married, but girlfriends' families that I've loved to spend time with. No matter how mean that might sound, it is what it is. I mean, you're not dating the person for their family. Maybe some people do, I don't know, but yeah, I think there's an undervaluement of people who can maintain healthy families and family connections. I mean, at the end of the day, what really is important in this life? I mean, I've made a ton of memories alone and by myself, and they really do help me formulate my opinions. But if I did them with family, how would I have felt? How would they have felt? How much closer would we be? I mean, the thing with my family is it's literally just my parents, and then I'm their child. So like I don't really have like brothers and sisters to do stuff with, and my family, like, they're not the things that I like to do, which is like hard hikes and like long runs or things like that. Like, I feel guilty when I take them on something that's going to be too hard for them, or because like they just end up not enjoying it or complaining the whole time, and that kind of ruins it for everybody. And I guess that's the value of like a significant other that has similar hobbies. They'll be able to do those things with me. But yeah, like I still maintain a very positive relationship with my family. And I always will. I've never fought with my family about anything. There's never really been anything to fight about. Like, they're not controlling. They're more just like let you do it and learn from your mistakes. But it's not like I'm out here like making a ton of like quote unquote mistakes. Like, yeah, like I mean, I don't really know like what mistakes can be made in this life. Like, what consists of a mistake? Like DUI, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, maybe just like addictions would be the main source of mistakes. But yeah, I just find it interesting, like that's that it's just so frowned upon to like be close to family, or at least society frowns upon it. But I mean, even I've been someone who would pass judgment like, oh, he's still living at home and he's 40, like what's wrong with this guy? It's just normal, I guess. What does that show exactly? I mean, what does that show? Complacency or lack of drive, or you're not starting your own life? Like, I don't know. Yeah, see, I'm still trying to think about that. Obviously, I don't want that to be me. My family's awesome where I can come and go, and being in the van, like, it's nice being able to have a place where I could shower, have food, and have Wi-Fi, and see my family, first and foremost. And it's always been like a positive place, the home. Like, it's never been somewhere where it just like, some people come from a really negative environment, something that's truly painful for them to experience. I mean, that's never been the case for my family's home and stuff. So I am grateful for that. And, the traveling has really opened my eyes to, how bad some people do have it. And I understand that too, but even coming from, quite a nice place and, with a good family, I still feel like something's really missing in my life, and I'm not exactly sure what it is that's missing. Yeah, and it's like I really want to know, like, how many like suicidal thoughts do other people have? Like, is it normal? Is it normal to have them every day? Is like, what are other people feeling? I really wish I could know what other people were feeling, and I could, compare and see where I'm at. I know a lot of things are just mind state and, kind of like taking your medicine and smiling while you take it, because in reality, we're not all gonna be Drake, we're not all gonna be Lil Uzi Vert, like, but I feel like we can still be the main characters of our movie and be satisfied with the film and have it be a happy film. And I mean, it would be super cool to be those guys. Like, it's gotta be quite an existence. I mean, my buddy sent me a quote from Drake where he basically said, like, he feels like he's in a coma because everything is just too perfect. And that's gotta be an insane feeling. And I mean, just being able to just sit courtside at your favorite team's games all the time, and everyone likes you for literally no reason at all. I mean, you could be the biggest jerk and they wouldn't even know. Not saying that he is or they are, but yeah, it is interesting. That's gotta be a cool existence. Like, oh, let me sneeze real quick. Wow, a lot of pollen, I guess. But through the test of time, like, how many different existences have happened? How many, scenarios have played out? How many lives have passed? I mean, that's just the reality of it, is everyone's life is passing. I mean, you could be, a supermarket worker in this 21st century, and it could be way better than the existence of a 16th century farmer, or we just don't know, and we don't have anything to compare to besides, I think that's what the social media does, is like, you kind of can compare yourself to what's on there, but what's on there is just literally just the icing on the cake. It's not the actual substance of the cake. It's literally just the icing. Is like, people aren't actually putting their real feelings on there. If they are, I mean, it's not people that I know or even trust what they're saying. But yeah, it's just such a tough thing to know, like, how we're supposed to be feeling, how happy should we be, how other people even perceive you. And I mean, at the end of the day, are any of these things even remotely important? Ooh, I thought I got a nibble, but it definitely didn't. Are any of these things even important? Probably not. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to try to get a house and just see how that makes me feel, because, I mean, to this point, besides from traveling, there's nothing that's really made me feel super excited about what's going on in my life, or maybe besides from, like, lust of, like, a new relationship starting. You know that feeling where you're really like, oh my god, like, this person likes me and, like, I like them back. Like, that's a great feeling. I understand why people, will, like, relationship hop. Oh, yeah, it's fucking something down there. I don't think it's fish. Weeds. And I understand why people will, like, relationship hop, because they're just chasing that dragon, so to say, and I don't blame them. It is a really good feeling. I enjoy it, like, myself, but I just don't get into things like that very often, because, I mean, I guess I'm just picky. I'm not, like, a settler. Like, I'm not gonna settle for someone who's like less than what I think, like, I want, and just see if it works out. Like, that's just, I don't want to waste anyone else's time either. But I mean, through just casual dating, I mean, I think the reality is we are just wasting each other's time. But maybe it's not like that. I don't know. I'm not an expert in any of that. I'm just more curious about, what I should be doing. I wish I could see the future. so I could either change what I'm doing now to affect the future, or have something to, you know, really look forward to. Because living kind of like day to day how I am, and like I've never really super applied myself to anything and gone out and just gotten what I wanted. Yeah, like I just feel less than fulfilled. And I know that other people would be super jealous of even what I have now. Like, it's just the game of comparison is one that is never a winning battle. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. You never win when you're comparing. Because it's always like, oh, they have this, why don't I have this? Like, why is my situation not like this? And I found that out. I mean, I really don't compare myself, but I feel like it's just human nature to see shit online, and shit will trigger you. Just like, what the fuck? It's so easy. That's another thing too, is like being a plumber. Like, it's hard work. It takes like a lot of knowledge to do it properly. It's not easy work. I mean, there's been times when I had to scoop up poop and clean poop off of walls, and like, disgusting. But yet then there's women who can just shake their ass on a camera and make what I make in a day, what I make in a whole year. And there's gotta be some sort of exchange of like the morality. Like, if you're selling your morality for this currency, there's gotta be some sort of exchange. Like, there's gotta be more to that. It can't just be like, get more money. That can't be the point of life. It just can't be. Can it be? Like, is that really what is important? Is just get more money? Like, more money will allow you to do what you want? I really think that is maybe the case. Like, if I had $100 million or whatever it takes to, not even that much, I mean, I could probably, 10 million would probably really satisfy me in terms of money forever. I mean, I'm making, I don't even know, as a plumber, probably 45 to 50,000 a year. You know, working incredibly hard. So that means in 10 years I could possibly make 500,000, but the expense of just living for 10 years, and if you start a family, and if you have a woman, and all these other things, I mean, what's the net out of that? And providing yourself with food, there's just like barely any net extra. Oh man, my kayak is leaking like a sieve again. I thought I was done dealing with that. I guess that's what I get for dragging it on the ground again. Can't win with this thing. It's like once a year I spring a big leak and I gotta fix it. It's actually quite annoying. But this kayak has seen, it's seen a lot. It's been a lot of places in a lot of different waters. And I've definitely got my money's worth. I think I bought this for $600 at Bass Pro. This is my first one with the removable seat, and talk about a game changer. Just way more comfortable of an experience than the all plastic ones. Those ones just hurt your back after a while. At least for me. But this is what Danny Rock is all about here. There's not much fishing here. I mean, growing up in this area, I fished this river quite a bit. And you tend to know like what spots you can get something from. And I won't get much unless I'm at the bridge near the town park. Everywhere else, there's been times when I could get nibbles. There's been times when I could even see the fish in the water. And, yeah, they're just not interested. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they're feeding on here, but it's just hasn't been what I've thrown. I caught one decent perch out of here, yellow perch, and that was on, I want to say like a crankbait, and it was bizarre. I was just throwing it because I'm like, oh, maybe there's a bass in here, and then I come up with a yellow perch whose mouth was like barely even big enough to get over the trebles, and I'm like, whoa, didn't expect that. That was cool, but that had to be, oh my god, by now 6, maybe even 8 years ago, maybe. So yeah, definitely not a ton of fish in here, at least for me, unless I do something wrong. Anyone can comment if you've been to Danny Rock. What's the best thing to throw? I only throw artificial. I feel like that's just a more enjoyable form of fishing. I mean, obviously fish are gonna bite worms, that's their food. I don't know, that's just not cool to me. There's something to be said for like being able to trick the fish into thinking your lure is an actual food source. Like there's an art to that. And matching the hatch and all that. But yeah, I'm sorry I'm like a little more down in this podcast episode. It's just kind of like where my mental state is, and I'm actually glad that I'm recording and, you know, while I'm feeling all types of ways, because usually like when I'm down, like I really won't want to do anything at all. I wouldn't want to share my opinion with, you know, however many people may watch this, and I more want to just like keep to myself and not like wallow, but yeah, everyone goes through that. I think some people experience it more and some experience it less, and outside factors do play a role in how you're gonna feel. But yeah, at least for myself, like I'm still trying to find what I can do to make myself, you know, legitimately happy and excited about the future. I mean, when I think about the future, I think the most exciting thing to look forward to is probably starting a family. Like what really more is there to do for a man, like, besides start a family with, you know, a beautiful wife? Like, what more? Yeah, I mean, I guess you can become a super successful entrepreneur. Maybe that brings a lot of satisfaction, or if you have a lot of fast cars or big house with marble floors, maybe that is satisfying. I don't know. I've never had any of that, so it's tough to know until you do something. Or maybe, like, I've thought about this too, is like how many people are actually enjoying their job, actually like their job, like go to work every day and they're like excited to be there, where they wake up and they're like, oh, let's just get there, let's just do, you know. Like, I've never felt that about a job I've had, ever. And I don't know if that's just because, why would that be? I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, being a plumber, you're technically helping people. Everyone needs hot water. Everyone needs, you know, the bathroom facilities to work correctly. I mean, society would fall apart and there'd be a lot more disease without, you know, proper plumbing. But it's not exactly an exciting thing. Like, I feel like the best jobs are probably ones where, like, you're researching about the job on your spare time. not even about the job, but like aspects of the job, even in your spare time, just because you just like it that much. Like if you're super into like wildflowers or gardening or whatever, and you work at a flower shop, maybe that does it for you. I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I don't know whether to look at a job like this is something I'm gonna have to do for 50 years anyway. So, do I pick a job? What should I be picking the job for? Like, should I be focused on the money? Should I be focused on how it makes me feel? Should I be focused on the impact it has on society? What should I be thinking about the job? How should I be rationalizing spending 8 to 10 hours a day at this place? I mean, right now, all I'm really rationalizing is like I need money to survive. And you would think living in the van, it would be very easy to save money, but it is and it isn't. Like, unless you're making a certain amount, a lot of your check is going to go to gas, it's going to go to food. If you like to go out and do things, if you like to take women out and, treat them right, that's going to be a big expense. Your hobbies on their own are going to be an expense. So it's just tough to say. It's really tough. It's tough to save. Like, I don't know how people that rent apartments are able to save at all. I really don't. Like, how are you saving at all if you're spending two grand a month just for space to exist? Like, that's all we're doing. We're just existing. Like, I just think of all the people through history, the Egyptian slaves to, the Roman market workers, and I wonder if everybody was thinking the same things. I don't even know if people now are thinking these things. I know I have a couple friends that do, but like the average person, you just really can't even know what they're thinking about, because you can't just go up to them and start a conversation like this. You're gonna come off as like a crazy person. They're gonna be like, "Whoa, dude, chill. It ain't that serious." Like, that's how I would act if some random person started talking to me like this. Like, unless I got like the vibe that like they really wanted to hear my opinion, and then I would obviously share it with them and let them know how I felt. But yeah, and also another thing too that I'm gonna check is, like, I'm recording this one on the AirPods, so I wonder if the sound quality will be better than the last podcast. But I think the other one was fine. That was just right off the phone. These phones are insane. Like, I watched some footage of me doing a mountain bike ride, and like the what do they call it? Not vibration, but basically anti-shake of the camera. It is impressive what these things are able to do. I mean, the technology in these things is insane. How someone thought of this? How someone thought of all this stuff? Like refrigerant, like for AC systems. I was charging a unit today. Like, how the hell does someone think of this? Like, liquid that turns to gas, that has vapor consistencies, liquid consistencies, is able to cool an entire house and bring it down to 70 degrees on a 100-degree day. Like, it's insane. And how we as people have gotten to the point where that's like an essential thing to have. Oh, I need AC. I can't make it through the summer with no AC. Are you kidding me? Like, how spoiled have we gotten? That's another thing too, where I think about like my mindset. I'm like, man, being in the 21st century, like, we're so spoiled with what we have, that me like feeling down or, you know, feeling like not the best, like what, like, whoa, if I feel like that now in this century, like what would I be feeling like in the 1400s or, you know, 200 BC? Like, or would I not even see? I feel like back then though, like you wouldn't even be able to compare yourself to other people. You would be able to compare yourself to like 10 other people that you knew, or people in the town. Like those people in North Korea, like, do they know what America is? What's happening in America? Like, how much easier life probably is for us here? Like, if you're unaware, sorry, I'd eat some ice, it's hot out here, but if you're unaware, is that the whole type of thing that, like, ignorance is bliss? The more unaware you are, the better it is for your mental state. And like overthinking is just something that's just gonna kill you on the inside. I think that's a thing too. Like overthinking, I mean, does anything good come from overthinking, or is overthinking how good ideas actually come out? I'm just not sure. Oh, there's something else I wanted to talk about that was on the tip of my tongue and I forget now. Oh, I hate when that happens, when you have the thought there and then you have to complete another thought and then that thought just goes to the back burner. Not the back burner, but yeah, it's funny, this life, man. It really is. It's funny how we're just like chemicals. Like, our emotions can be controlled by pills and stuff like that, or if you have an imbalance, or if you just don't like the way your life is going. I mean, I'll say one thing, man, like about the van, it's just the ability to just up and leave and go somewhere else and start new. And there's never been a time where, like, in that moment that did not feel good. Like, every time I've been like, alright, I'm going this place, I'll get a job there. It won't be the best job, but it'll be a job. And it's always felt, it feels good to be a place that you want to be at, I think. But is that just letting exterior things affect, you know, my mindset? And then, like, then tomorrow could just feel a completely different way. And it's like, yeah, I feel like I personally, like, just on the whole feeling thing, like, I'll go through month stretches of feeling super optimistic and like feeling good about myself and feeling comfortable with myself, and then I'll just go months with the complete opposite of just feeling, you know, how do I put this, just completely suicidal, like not wanting to do anything, not wanting anything to do with anybody. And I know, like, I'll always come out of that, but that in the moment, it's just so much that I understand why people decide to, you know, finish their journey early, so to say. And I don't even know the YouTube guidelines anymore about what I can say. But at least, I don't care about the YouTube money or whatever. It doesn't matter. I think it's more important just to get my thoughts out there, and if they could help someone else, then that's awesome. That's really kind of all I want to get out of this. That would be cool. I mean, to form a community within itself. Maybe the sense of community is what is fulfilling. And when you're in a place that you don't necessarily want to be, you don't feel part of the community. But even when I'm even when I'm somewhere that I want to be in that moment, I don't necessarily feel a part of the community. In the van, if any of you do live in a van or are thinking about it, in a van, like, you're kind of like frowned upon by the community. Like, they're not necessarily excited to have you there, because you're not playing the game like everyone else. Like, you can dip out whenever you want. They're all locked in. But maybe it feels good to be locked in and to just know, like, this is my home, and I'm gonna make it into this house into a home, and this is where I'm gonna, start a family, and this is where I'm gonna do this and do that, start a business, and try to make something of myself. Maybe that's one less thing to worry about. And that's why people, pick an area and just stay there. Oh yeah, and then I was thinking about this today too. Let me get a little more drink. I did a 5.5 mile run, and wow, I feel very dehydrated. Yeah, with the van. I keep coming back to the van. I know it's annoying, but so, like, I work back at a place that I worked before. I left for like 4 or 5 months, and I lived out in Colorado. And then I came back and I asked my boss for, another job, and he said, yeah, of course, come on back. Can you start Monday? Yeah, all right, sounds good, pretty much. And I'm back working there. And I see, like, all the cars in the lot, and they're all the same cars that used to be there. And these are other businesses there. Before I left, the 4 or 5 months ago. And just seeing how stagnant people are and how comfortable they are with just doing the same thing every day. Like, I have to wonder, that's another thing I like about the traveling, is, like, at least it brings newness. At least it's not just the same old. I mean, I think everyone's fearful of just punching the clock every day, and the years fly by, and then you're dead. Like, that's a lot of people's existence. It's sad. It's sad that this is the system, and you have to do that to survive. The government don't care. The government's not gonna bail you out. The government wants you working until you're 70. They don't care. They want to keep collecting tax money off you so they can line their own pockets of the politicians. And I mean, it's a scary... Oh, I got you, little bee. Get out of the water. Let's put... Here, buddy. Sit right here. Here, come on. Get off the paddle. Oh, shoot. We got a co-pilot. My bad, guys. Alright, that's back in there. Alright, we got a little bee riding riding shotgun. Let him dry himself off. Sometimes I see these bees and I wonder if they want to be in the water or if it's an accident that they fell in. I mean, this guy's soaked. He looks like he's drying himself off. We'll see what he does. So a couple that I've, caught have been able to fly away, but some just seem like they're not able to fly after they get so wet. Yeah, I wonder what the most fulfilling career for myself would be, and if I'll find it. A lot of people don't find what they, like to do. That's a scary thought in itself. Never finding what you actually like. Like, I know I like hiking, I know I like, kayaking, I like fishing, I like the outdoors, I like camping, I like traveling, I like seeing new things, I like going to national parks. I like sports talk radio. But beyond that, I'm really unsure of like what I actually like. Like, I like chocolate. I like chicken parm. But yeah, beyond that, like, I'm really not even sure what I like. It's probably sounds real sad. But I'm not trying to be sad. That's just kind of just how I feel. I think I like making people laugh. That always feels good. To be, funny and hear other people laugh. I wonder who in my day-to-day life I think is like the funniest person I know. I don't know. I don't know if I know any like super funny people that I like hanging out with all the time. Like, when everyone becomes adults, like, the hanging out seems to come to an end quite quickly. Everyone has families, and I get it. It's probably way more rewarding to hang out with, your significant other and like children you made than, your buddies. I guess it's good to have both, but I know at least for me, I enjoy, like, when I do have a significant other, spending time with them. But is that like the price of sex? Like, is that the allure of the sex just overpowers anything else? I mean, it's such an addictive feeling. It's just a little devil on your shoulder that will just keep coming back no matter how many times you try to subdue it, or even that it could bring, possible, not turmoil, but major problems into your life. Your body just really wants it. It just does. And I don't ever remember really feeling like this until my mid-20s. And then I was like, whoa, like, I really need this. It's just our genetic makeup just telling us, like, to keep the species alive. It's these subconscious things that I find super interesting, that are just programmed into us. And, like, obviously you can do the job yourself, but it's never quite feels fulfilling. But even when I do it with other people, like, it doesn't feel fulfilling either. Like, I feel like, uh-oh, is this gonna be a problem? I guess that's the point of a relationship, maybe. Because then if there is a problem, then you're like, alright, this person will be good to have a kid with. Yeah, it's tough to say. But that's just the price of sex, man. That makes people do a bunch of things. It really does. It makes people do anything. The drugs. I wonder what hardcore drugs feel like. Like, is it comparable to that euphoric feeling of the sex? Like, you ever have, a good bang and then your ears are ringing? And you're like, whoa, that felt really good. Like, that's gotta be what the drugs feel like. Why else would people do them? Yeah, why else would the people do them? I don't know. But, what good is that if that just destroys your body? Is anyone happy being addicted to something? I wondered that. Like, what's a healthy, good addiction to have? Like, straight up addiction. Like, there's been plenty of times in my life when I've been going to the gym every day, and it's never felt like an addiction, like I'm addicted to going. It's just kind of been like a thing where it's like, oh, I should be doing something productive and positive with my time. And obviously, like, trying to look good. I mean, you want to look good for the opposite sex, and like, if you're trying to attract a certain type of woman, you need to look a certain type of way yourself. Or maybe you don't. I mean, I don't know what chicks want. I don't know. That's why I like podcasts like Fresh and Fit and stuff. Like, I'm glad these are out there, because at least then I'm like kind of able to know what these modern day women want. Because I don't know. Like, I'm not a woman. I'll never be a woman. I don't know what that's like to be a woman. So, what is it exactly that they want? Why do they like the bad boy that will treat them like crap? Like, what? Why can't I just be nice to somebody and have that, in return? Why do I have to be a dick? And that's how I'm gonna get respect? Like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It's the games we play, I suppose, right? Nothing but games. Nothing but games. Maybe life is a big game. Maybe it ain't real, but these feelings really do feel real. I would say feelings are probably the realest thing that I feel. Like, I know media's fake, I know TV's fake, I know all that's fake, but feelings, like, yeah, they're temporary and they come and they go, but man, do they really hit home. They really do make you feel a type of way. Literally. It wasn't a good way to describe that, but these birds are going crazy. I hope this gets picked up in my video, all this bird chatter. I think it could be a cool element to the pod. Especially on days when I'm feeling, super positive. Like, how are these birds feeling? flying around all day. Like, animals always look like they're on edge. They must be stressed, and that's why they don't live that long. Because they say stress kills. And if you have to look for your food every day, you can't just go to the store. That's gotta be stressful. It's gotta be. Well, the fireman's doing work up here. I can hear him. Yeah, I'd say, like, so, isn't it funny how, like, when you listen to music, at first, it'll feel like, oh, I don't really like this album, and then after a while, it'll like, grow on you, and you'll be like, oh, this is actually pretty good. Like, that's what happened with the Pink album for, by Lil Uzi. I listened to that, like the first time, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm really like into much of this, but now like there's a few songs that I just think are just bangers on the thing. Like, they're just like, he's just good, man. But it's like more than just like what he's saying. It's like the beat and like the how he uses his voice as like an instrument by like going high and by going low, the reflection in his voice. He seems like a cool guy. But I mean, someone like that who's probably getting thousands of women, I mean, is that fulfilling? Is that a fulfilling feeling to have? Cool, you get thousands of women. What does that exactly mean? Like, you're getting temporary satisfaction by using other people's private parts? I mean, that to me just doesn't scream high value. Now, if you pick one and you're able to sustain, you know, an incredible life and provide for them, I feel like that would make you high value. Which I know I'll be able to do. You know, when I find the right girl, like, I know I'll be able to provide for her whatever I'm doing. Like, I know I'll be successful. I just don't know how I'm gonna get there. Like, my boss was telling me today, he owns a plumbing company, and obviously, you know, a lot of people, when you tell them, like, you're a plumber, they're just like, oh, big money. Because, you know, when something goes wrong with their boiler or their water heater, and they, you know, they send you in to fix it, it's quite a hefty bill when you're done. But, like, these are, you get paid job to job in a career like this. You're not making residuals off of something you made once and it just keeps coming back around. That's how you get rich. Like, not from these job to job things. And even my boss said it, where he's like, yeah, like, I wish I put more effort into the real estate, because he owns a bunch of like apartment complexes and stuff, and, you know, 3 families and stuff, and he's like, I focused a lot on the business for a while, and I really could have just kept putting more real estate in my portfolio. That at the end of the day is making way more money than the business, and I do find that interesting. And I also found it interesting, like, the rate he said he'd pay. Like, oh, the bee flew away. Good. I'm glad I was able to help him. But yeah, the rate he would pay, like, a master plumber or someone who's very good at plumbing, I mean, close to $50 an hour. I mean, that's insane. $50 an hour. I mean, I guess it's not that insane, but because people are making hundreds an hour, thousands an hour. But yeah, people are making thousands an hour, man. Jesus, what am I doing? I gotta figure something out like that. Then I won't have to worry about a pension or health insurance. And people always mention pension to me because I worked for the state for a while. And they're like, oh yeah, nice, good, get the pension. And it never really meant much to me because I always just have been under the assumption that eventually I'm gonna figure something out to where I'm making decent money, like good money, really good money. That, I mean, a pension doesn't matter when you have 20 million in the bank. Who cares? And I've always been under the assumption that that's gonna be me, but maybe there's nothing wrong with just playing it safe and, you know, getting a pension. Like, is there any bad? I guess like being a drug dealer is a bad lifestyle. It's embarrassing for your family, probably. Alright, I think I'm just gonna sit back and relax here for a while, guys. So, thank you for viewing this one. A little something different. Let me know if you like the whole, you know, floating down the river vibe. I know I was kind of a little bit down today, but that's just kind of how I've been feeling, and that's what I want these to be. I want them to be authentic. I want them to be, you know, what I'm actually thinking. And I know it's kind of like a little bit embarrassing, I feel like, because for men, like, we're not really supposed to show our emotions so much. We're supposed to be, you know, the rock. But if this can help someone, it's worth it. If someone is, you know, feeling similar to how I feel, or vice versa, or whatever, like, I hope we can connect and, you know, be there for each other, because in reality, we're all just trying to make it through this life happily. And it ain't easy out there, let me tell you.